Okay, so another thing that can happen when you're running a program is that it can run out of memory. And we can, again, handle that using try and except blocks to deal with the problem. Now, you can imagine this happening if you had a game running for a long time with a lot of resources. In all the examples we've used so far, it's quite unlikely that it would happen. But for example, just to take a slightly crazy example, if the user was running the pizza app and they just kept adding pizzas to the basket, eventually it would run out of memory. It's pretty unlikely that they would click through that many times, but it's possible. So we should handle that. I'm not going to simulate that by, clicking millions of pizzas into the basket. What I'm going to do instead is use the Lucky Pizza app, which we saw at the beginning of the course, and that in one of the more recent versions was able to add a random number of pizzas to a basket. But if we just keep adding more and more pizzas, eventually it will run out of memory. So it's not a random number of pizzas. This just has a loop that will run infinitely until the basket fills up and the program runs out of memory. When that will happen depends on the computer you're running on. I think if you run it on a small device, with a small amount of memory like a phone, it could run out much more quickly. On my laptop, the code ran out after adding 11.5 million pizzas worth 98 million pounds, and then it ran out of memory. I'm not going to demonstrate that because it takes a little while for that to happen. Okay, so the code here is it's very similar to the code we've seen before. Let's have a look at the code we saw before. So got to find an old pizza example. There's Lucky Pizza. So in this Lucky Pizza, there's the code for generating a random pizza. Okay, it generates a random item. It gets the price from the dictionary and it generates a pizza object, and then it generates up to 3 random extras on the pizza. Okay, in the latest version then, that bit of code is the bit of code that I'm using. I've put that, essentially that's where this line is. Okay, and that once the pizza's generated, it gets added to the basket. And there's also a message saying how many pizzas is added into the basket. And I've put that inside an infinite loop. So this while true, in principle, would run forever, okay, until you stop the program or until it runs out of memory. So this while true is going to run forever. But eventually this basket will run out of memory. And when that happens, the execution of the code will jump out to this point here and print out the words "rats out of memory." And then it should still carry on. So assuming it's able to still function, assuming this line doesn't require any memory, which actually it probably does, because, well, it might work. I'm not sure whether it would work or not. It's not entirely clear. But anyway, the point is that this catches memory errors and gives the user some indication that that's what's happened. So they've got 1 million pizzas, 11 million pizzas, but the code's run out of memory. Notice one other little change is that here, when I say accept, I say accept memory error. So this try catch block only catches memory error exceptions. Anything else, if this happened to be accessing a file, then if that was the case and the file wasn't available, then that would still generate some other trace back, and you'd need another try except block to deal with that. Okay, let's finish the video there and then look at another use for these try and accept blocks.